Hello people. So I'm still out of town, as I mentioned in a reaction video a few days ago, and I'm going back to LA tonight. For those of you who are subscribed, who watch the channel very closely and regularly, you may have noticed that the uploads have been quite a bit irregular, and it's going to go back to its normal, regular schedule of uploads starting tonight or tomorrow night once we're all settled in. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about a few things real quick, and by real quick I mean long and drawn out, because it's just me, raw, unedited, unfiltered, and it's just going to be like this. So I'm going to be a little bit rambly, a little bit pausey, a little bit stumbly, but we can get through this together. So I'm outside waiting for a Achara to come back to the car, and there's lots of people walking by, so it's slightly awkward, but I tried recording this video several times, and I ended up starting over like a bajillion times, and it's really annoying. So this is going to be my last attempt, otherwise I'm giving up on it. In which case, none of you are going to be watching this anyway, because it's just sitting in my phone. But hopefully I made it through to the end. So it's going to be kind of a long video. So if you guys want to just listen instead of watching it, because it's just this kind of boring background, that's fine too. You can use it like a podcast while you do other things, you know, like washing the dishes or sitting on the toilet. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to talk about 4 things. Number 1 is comment moderators. Number 2 is comments in general between North and South Indians with regards to their respective cinemas and commenting on each other's videos on my channel. And what else? How people have been feeling about fight scene reactions in general. In particular, the Bang Bang video is something I want to talk about. And then lastly, what's to come on the channel. So let's start with comment moderators. Let's see. So trolls and haters have been kind of flooding the channel more and more over the past several months, and I've just been like ignoring it, letting it go, not paying attention to it as much as possible. But I've noticed it's starting to affect other people who are trying to just have a conversation in the comments. And so for you guys, I thought I would take it upon myself to look into this. I especially decided it was time when I was getting messages from people who were like, the first set of messages from people over the past several months were like, look, I wanted to share this with you in the comments, but I didn't want to deal with other people who are like, haters and trolls, and I get it. So, people were sending me these kinds of messages on Twitter and email and whatnot. But more recently, I was getting messages like, can you do something about the comments, because it's getting out of hand? And so I'm like, all right, it's time to take responsibility here and be a grown-up and take care of this. So I went to Twitter and I said, I asked people who would volunteer to be comment moderators, and I was expecting maybe a handful of people, but a whole bunch of people responded, which is so cool. I was actually really happy that that happened. I was honored that so many people wanted to help out with the channel. And so what I realized though is there's a lot of work involved, so I had to like vet these people. And so far I've talked to a lot of people, and I've taken on a few. I think it's somewhere between, I think it's about 12 people that are currently comment moderators, if I'm not mistaken. But there's still a lot more that I have to kind of sort out and talk to and see if they should be comment moderators also. And the reason why I'm just doing a few at a time instead of just a bunch at once is so I can make sure that these people are following the protocol I'm outlining, which I'm going to share with you right now so that everybody knows what's going on. So before I even had comment moderators, there were certain words that I was using as triggers for YouTube to go, this is getting removed, this can't be on the comments. Like, some people were being very, very vulgar with the language to the point that it was just egregious. And so I started using bad word filters. Certain bad words will automatically get your comment removed. I know that sounds annoying, but trust me, like, I'm pretty sure that in the long run, it's for the best, because this way people are forced to actually have a civil conversation, in my opinion. So I want to say, all of this, all the things I'm doing, all the measures I'm taking with regards to the comments is for you guys. So if the majority of you are like, yeah, we don't like what you're doing here, I'm going to say, okay, and I'm going to remove all the filters and moderators and whatnot, and just let it be free reign in the wild, wild west, like it has been. But it just seems like there's a lot of people who aren't commenting, who want to be part of the conversation, but just don't want to deal with trolls and haters. And I totally get that. And so I'm trying to make it a more amicable place for everybody, as much as possible. So the rule I told people who are comment moderators was this. If you see a racist, if you see a sexist or a misogynist, if you see someone who's just purely a hater or clearly a troll, you can remove that comment. Do not interact with them, just remove the comment. And so what happens is when they remove the comment, YouTube gives me a list of things that have been removed by moderators, and then from there I can go, no, that's okay, or no, that shouldn't be there, and the comment moderator did right here. So that's basically the rule. So as an example, if someone says, you know, Jaby Koei, you're totally wrong, you're an idiot here, this is why this is good, and this is what you missed out on, you should do more research. That's not a hateful comment, that's an opinion. Even though it's mean, it's a hateful comment. If someone said, this channel sucks, I don't know why anyone watches this crap, you know, you guys are wasting your time, blah, blah, blah. You know, you see those comments pop up sometimes. People who don't watch reaction videos, coming just to crap on reaction videos, those are haters, and those people will get removed. People who are there just to create chaos, those people are getting removed. But people's comments that are mean, but they're an opinion, they're genuinely an opinion, they're genuinely a response to, you know, the video, then it's gonna stay. What I'm on the fence about, and I'm going to talk about this more in a second, is when people comment something like, you know, typical Bollywood or typical South Indian crap or whatever, like things like that. I'm more on the side of getting those removed, not blocking those people, but just removing those comments, because I don't think it's productive. I don't think it's helpful. So what I'm getting at is this. Ultimately, I'm hoping that the comments will be a more civil, more amicable place for everybody. And for those of you who haven't been commenting because it's just chaos and you don't want to be a part of the chaos, I would like you to try now to comment and see how you feel about it, see if it's better than it was before. I'm hoping that it is already better, you know, hills and valleys better than it was before. I'm hoping. So that's it with comment moderators. Again, you guys let me know how you feel. Let me know if this bothers you. If you got any questions about it, comment below and I'll do my best to respond. So, okay, that's comment moderators. Excuse me, I just ate lunch. So let's see, what's next is, so North and South Indian comments with regards to each other's videos on my channel. So like, let's say I did, I don't know, I can't remember a movie off the top of my head. Maybe Gajini. Yeah, okay, that's a good one, Gajini. So I don't know if I don't specifically recall any examples off the top of my head, but I'm just using that as an example because I believe Gajini was inspired or adapted from a South Indian film. So let's assume that some South Indian fan saw my trailer reaction to Gajini. It's entirely possible someone will go, this is another ripoff from a South Indian movie, right? I don't particularly care for those comments anymore. And I'll give you an example of the reverse as well. The thing is, it's like, if you are someone who's partial to South Indian cinema, and you see that something has been, you know, copied or adapted or whatever, it's not really contributing to the conversation at all to say this is a ripoff of this. It's like, well, okay, so you know that, and you know that's a thing, and it's been happening for a while. So now the question is, what's the positive spin on this? Is there a positive spin? And that's the approach I'm hoping people will take going forward. Is asking yourself, okay, so what'd they do different? Is it frame for frame the same movie? Is the music exactly the same? Is the way the actors behaved exactly the same? Those are the questions I'm hoping people will start to ask themselves as we move forward together, because simply saying it's a ripoff isn't really helping the conversation. It's not really adding anything. It's just like, okay, well it's a ripoff. You know, that now what? Now where does the conversation go from there? Now it's just hate, right? Now, on the flip side, if you're someone who's partial to Bollywood and you see a South Indian fight scene, now specifically what I'm referring to is something crazy like a Vijay fight scene or something like that, where people are bouncing off the ground, things like that. I've used words like unrealistic or crazy, unbelievable, and people are flying, and this and that. I've used all kinds of adjectives to describe the South Indian fight scenes that are on the crazier side. And I don't mean them in a negative way when I use those words, but I mean them in a stylistic way to describe the style of the fight scene. I can appreciate the style of the fights, and I can appreciate people flying here and there and it being nuts. So what I'm getting at is this. If you're someone who's partial to Bollywood, and you see, I've reacted to a South Indian fight scene, like recently I did and I specifically saw someone say something like, typical South Indian crap. It was something of that nature, and it really annoyed me because I'm like, well, weren't you expecting it to be a like, in the style of what you usually see from South Indians? Like, weren't you expecting that? Like, what good does it do you, your soul, you as a person, what good does it do you to come to the video and say that? Because now all that happens is someone's going to say back to you, well, you know, Bollywood's no better for X, Y, and Z reasons. So what I'm trying to do myself all the time is look at everything and that people are voting up and sending my way, and I'm going, okay, what do I appreciate about this? What do I find positive in this? Some people, like, rip into me saying that I love everything, and it's like, that's not true. That's categorically false. I am just more open to exposing my positive thoughts because it's harder to me. It's much more challenging to look for the positives in what you're watching. It's very easy to go for the negatives. It's very easy to rip into something. Like, I find that if I'm doing, in the past when I was doing a movie review, it was so much easier to comment on what I didn't like than what I did like. And I think in general, it's easier to make negative remarks than positive ones. And so I've made this constant challenge of looking for what I believe is positive. Sometimes it's easier than others, and sometimes it's harder than others, but it's like, ultimately, there's more to gain from that. And if there's a negative thing, I try to make it a thing where it's like, okay, what would I have done differently? And I express that rather than just taking a crap on it. I try to express, well, I didn't like it for this reason, and I would have done it this way. To each his own. Everyone's got their own way of doing things. Now, all this being said, do I believe that this one video is going to change anything? Most likely not. I think it's a naive hope that things will change. I'm pretty sure the comments are going to be exactly the same with regards to this particular conversation. People are still going to leave those kinds of comments, and it's going to happen all the time. But I encourage you, if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you are one of those people who is more partial to one region over the other, and you have left comments like typical South Indian crap or another ripoff that Bollywood's doing, if you have left those kinds of comments before, what I ask of you is this, and this also extends to people who are hardcore SRK fans and don't like Salman Khan, or hardcore Salman Khan fans who don't like SRK, etc., etc. This is the challenge I extend to you. Try looking for something positive and commenting that when you feel that instinct to say something negative. See what happens. I guarantee you it's way harder. And I guarantee you will come away learning something different that you weren't expecting. So for me, when I watched the Eye fight scene, even though it's a terrible fight scene on there, I mean, that gave me a low expectation of what was to come. But I automatically went in there thinking there'll probably be some people flying around, maybe bodies bouncing off the ground. You know, it's going to be a little bit kooky and crazy, but that's the style, and I am buying into that style. Just like if I watch Fast and the Furious, I'm buying into that it's going to be very unrealistic and out there and crazy and wild, and it's just pure fun. So yeah, there's that. You guys, let me know how you feel about what I just said in the comments, please. This is a conversation that matters a lot to me, actually. It's mattered a lot to me since near the beginning of doing Indian cinema on the international channel. Like, it's mattered a lot that North and South Indians, with regards to their cinema, I don't know, some people have told me that it's all friendly like jabs, but it doesn't sound friendly in the comments. It sounds very mean and vindictive, and maybe I'm projecting that and it's not real and people are just having friendly banter, but it doesn't seem friendly. It seems very just mean and cold-hearted. But you let me know, educate me, teach me a thing or two about this, because maybe I'm just ignorant. So, okay, next is, how do people feel about reaction video, the fight scene reactions in general, and in particular Bang Bang? That's a big one I wanted to talk about. So, with Dawn 2, there are people who are just hardcore SRK fans that got upset with me for not doing things a certain way. And like, I can't, there's some things I will never be able to, there's certain groups of people I will never be able to fully please. And because I didn't show the whole opening of the Dawn 2, people got upset. So one thing I want to educate you guys about real quick is, for those of you who don't know, I cannot show too much of the video. I can't show much of the movie. Like, even though someone's gotten away with uploading that on YouTube, like, I'm a bigger channel than the person who uploaded those videos, usually, unless it's coming straight from the film company. And so I can't show the whole thing. If they want to give me a copyright strike or claim based on the fact that I show too much of the video, they're probably in the right to do so. Even though it's a reaction, showing too much makes it harder to argue my stance of it being a reaction video. If you're doing, let's say you're doing a book that's commenting on another book, which is totally a thing. If your excerpts are too much from the original source, you can get in trouble. And so I'm showing an excerpt from the movie. If I show too much of that excerpt, I can get in trouble. And so I'm trying to avoid that. So, yeah, that's why I didn't show as much. And that's why when I did Vishwa Rupam, I didn't show as much. I only showed that chunk. In addition to those of you who watched the Vishwa Rupam fight scene reaction and got pissed off at me for not looking at the whole thing, there's two reasons. One, the one I just mentioned, three reasons. One, the one I just mentioned, because I don't want to show too much of the video. Number two, there were no subtitles. And number three, the guest I only have for a couple of hours. What I hope you guys can remember is this. I have a very wide range of people watching my channel. There are those, like, outside of just, like, Indians, there's a lot of other people who watch the international channel. It may not seem like it, but there are. And now within India, there's the people who love Bollywood. There's the people who love South Indian stuff. There's the people who love the other regional stuff. And so it's like, there's a lot of different audiences there, and so there's a lot of different things being voted for. So there are some people who are like, why are you watching this, and why aren't you watching this instead? It's like, well, you got to be patient. Like, I'm trying to get to all the things people are asking for. So when I had Cassie over, I had her for 2 hours. I'm trying to get in as many different things as possible without it feeling rushed, because I'm trying to appease all the different things that are voted for. So a 13-minute fight scene video is just like, I can't do that. It's too long. You know what I'm saying? Unless the whole thing is end-to-end fighting, like the end fight of Flashpoint, then that's one thing. But if it's a bunch of dialogue and then a fight scene here, I can only show the fight scene. I know that you guys don't, those of you who are fans of Vishwa Rupam were very upset with that. I'm sorry, but like that's just how I have to play things, because I'm trying to keep it within what legal boundaries of what I'm allowed to do as someone who reacts to videos and reviews them. So now, as far as my comments go on the SRK videos, on Doom, not Doom, is it Doom? Dawn. Let's see. My comments were genuine. As I've said before, like, as I've mentioned many times, I favor positivity for reasons mentioned earlier in the video, and all my positive remarks were genuine. And I feel like I mentioned the negative remarks I had towards the video. So it's like, sometimes it feels like I can't win, where this is more evident on Bang Bang. So I'll save that for Bang Bang, that specific thought. But I just want to say that my comments on Dawn were genuine, absolutely genuine. It's like, I'm not trying to suck up to SRK fans, and I'm not like against Salman Khan. I'm not like in anyone in particular. I'm not in any camp. I'm just doing my best to appreciate what it is I'm watching. So I think next came Vishwa Rupam, and I believe the only reason a lot of people got upset who were not biased towards Bollywood was because I didn't watch the whole thing. People who were biased towards Bollywood were upset that I was watching it at all because it's not Bollywood. And then they don't think very highly of it. I personally enjoyed the fight scene for what it was. There were comments I had about it, and there were certain things that certain bits of context I didn't have because I didn't watch the whole thing. Now, for those of you who get upset with me for not understanding the whole movie, you have to know, like, I know that I don't have all the context. I know I don't have all the information. I'm there to simply critique the fight choreography, the way it's executed, shot, edited, music, all that stuff, sound effects. I'm only critiquing this small piece of the pie. I know I'm not seeing the whole picture yet until I've watched the entire movie. I get that. And hopefully you guys get that too, and don't get upset with me in the future if you decide to click on one of my fight scene reactions. I'm obviously not going to get the full context yet. And know that if enough people are asking me to watch the movie, I will. So, that's Vishwa Rupam. So Bang Bang. Now this was one I was hesitant to put out initially. I was like, I considered not putting it out because I felt like because I didn't express absolute love for the video, something negative, or it was going to have like some kind of negative repercussions in the comments. I was certain of it. And I know that Cassie's response to it was also, you know, not the most loving. And so I knew that there was going to be negative repercussions there. But I'm like, you know what? It's fine. Every once in a while, people need to see like that you don't love everything, right? And so I put that out, and of course there were people who were like, "Oh, you're just taking a crap on all of Indian cinema." Even then, those are the same people. The people who said that are the same people who are like, "Oh, you just love everything." And I'm like, "Well, which is it? Am I the guy who loves everything, or am I the guy that craps on everything?" And then there were people who were like, "You're just jealous of Hrithik." I'm like, dude, like if I was jealous of Hrithik, first off, I wouldn't have put the video out. Second, it would have been more evident in other videos of Hrithik that I was super jealous of him. I continue to do reaction videos and reviews of movies that involve Hrithik because I'm not like that jealousy. If there's jealousy whatsoever, and even an infinitesimal amount of jealousy, or a minute amount of jealousy rather, if there is jealousy at all, it's not stopping me from putting videos out that involve Hrithik. So when I looked at the fight scene, I had no knowledge of the waterboard jetpack thing, and I had no knowledge of what went on with Hrithik's injuries and whatnot. And people got upset with me for not knowing that stuff. This is my feeling on that. The onus isn't on the viewer or reviewer to know what went on behind the scenes when watching something. When I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I didn't do any research in advance about what happened on the movie and how hard it was or whatever. My job as a reviewer or viewer is to just watch the movie, see how it hits me raw, and make my opinion from there. And if I feel like it after the fact, or if I feel like I need to, I'll research from there. But I don't feel like someone should have to research in advance. Now, an argument can be made that because I'm watching a clip of the movie, I should research in advance, but I still stand by the idea that I don't want to do any research in advance because I want things to hit me raw. Now, I've seen some people accuse me of being lazy for feeling that way, and I can't change your feeling because I'm not going to change my style. I'm going to continue to look at things raw and then do my research post-watching it if I feel like I need to. And in that instance, maybe I should have, but I didn't feel inspired to research. So what I'm trying to get at is, the onus isn't on me to know that Hrithik hurt himself or that the waterboard thing is real. It's like how it was put together is what I'm examining. And it's like how my feeling that in that moment, but my immediate response, I had no control over. That's just how I felt. And that's what I exposed to you guys. If you guys want me to like fake my stuff, you're at the wrong channel. Like, I'm not going to fake my response to that. I'm just giving you how I genuinely felt. Now, some of you said, or one or two of you said that I was like condescending, and I'm like, I'm just expressing it as best as I can. I'm like, yeah, I speak the way I speak, and I'm sorry if that offends you. It's just what it comes down to. So now, all that to say, not every comment has been negative with regards to fight scene reactions. In fact, the majority of votes have been upvotes for fight scene reactions. The majority of people just don't comment, and they just vote up, or they don't say anything at all, whether they're positive or negative or neutral. They just watch and keep moving and don't contribute to the votes or the comments, which isn't a bad thing. It's just how they don't feel like it. And I understand that because most of the time I don't vote or comment. I just watch and I move on, and I just keep coming back. So with I'm kind of losing my train of thought here. Okay, so Bang Bang. Oh, so Bang Bang in particular was a funny one. The reason I want to talk about that was because I was sandwiched in the middle. And it was a weird feeling because I looked at the comments and it's like, I either got people who hated me for that video because I watched it and liked it, and then people who hated me because I watched it and didn't like it. And I'm like, I wish you guys like look at each other's comments, because you both are accusing me of the exact opposite thing. Like, people are accusing me of loving it and being silly or dumb for liking it at all, and how could you watch that, Jaby? And then people are hating me for like, how do you not know this stuff? You should do more research. Hrithik hurt himself, blah blah blah. I'm like, Jackie Chan hurts himself all the time in fight scenes. If the fight scene sucks, it doesn't matter if Jackie Chan busted his head open. The fight scene sucks, like, ultimately. Now, I'm not saying Bang Bang sucks. What I said specifically was there was potential there. I feel like the execution could have been better. That's what I said. Now, another common thing I was seeing was, if it was American, it'd be okay. Those of you who said that obviously haven't been paying attention to my American videos, because I will critique American stuff the same way, and if not harsher, because it's my home, it's my home territory. How can I phrase that? Forgive me, I'm getting a little bright and exhausted here. Because it's from where I'm from, it's easier to comment. Like, when something is not from my country, I have to be more careful, because it's like, well, maybe there's cultural references I don't get. Maybe there's stylistic references I'm not familiar with. Maybe there are certain things I just don't understand. And so that's why I'm more careful with foreign cinema than I am with my domestic cinema. So you'll see me be mean to American stuff. You know, it's just as likely to happen. But if it's something I just genuinely can't stand, I don't even put a review out. And there have been those movies. So, Fast and the Furious. Someone was like, you know, in Fast and the Furious, you're fine with it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, in Fast and the Furious, I am calling it silly still. You know, because I was calling, what's her name? Cassie was calling Bang Bang silly. And so people were like, you know, if it was in Fast and the Furious, you'd be fine with it. And it's like, well, I feel like Cassie's feeling is the same as mine. If I was, when I'm watching Fast and the Furious, I'm calling it silly, but I'm enjoying it because it's silly. I'm enjoying it because it's out there and fun and crazy and weird, and it's doing completely unrealistic things. Sometimes it goes too far, but I'm buying into it, knowing in advance it's going to be outrageous and completely unbelievable, and that's okay. So that's that for Bang Bang. Hopefully that helps with massaging some of your feelings with regards to that. Most likely it doesn't, and you guys are still gonna dislike the fact that I didn't love it, or dislike the fact that I watched it at all. And it's voted up. It's voted for in the website. So now, in general, people who watch the fight scene reactions are enjoying it. There are people who are commenting saying, "Stop doing fight scene reactions, it's boring." You guys are kind of, those of you who say that are kind of wasting your energy, and the reason why is because when you say that, it's like, I've already shot a bunch of fight scene reactions. In addition, there are lots of people who want to see them. You can gauge that just by the views. Obviously, the fight scene reactions are not quite as popular as your regular trailer reactions or your music video reactions. I know what is more popular. The thing is, I love fight scenes. I've done my fair share of fight scenes, and I know how to critique. I mean, I feel confident in knowing how to critique them. There's a number of you who are like, you don't know shit, Jaby, and it's like, all right, well, maybe I don't, but I feel confident in critiquing a fight scene. At least I've got my view on it. Everyone's got their own view on how a fight scene should be, and I give my, you know, I feel confident in giving my opinion on it. And so I love fight scenes. I genuinely love fight scenes, and I love doing them. I love creating them. I love watching them with people and talking about them. And so, like, that's a big reason why I do it. And I also wanted something different than trailer reactions and music videos and vlogs. I wanted something else that I could share with people, and fight scenes is a big deal for me. It's like, that's awesome that there's a lot of people who enjoy my review of that, because I enjoy talking about it. So you might not be one of those people, and that's okay. You don't have to watch those videos, but commenting, don't do these anymore, it's boring, it's like, you're not really helping the conversation, because it's not for you. It's just, those videos aren't for you, and you don't have to click on them. I'm sorry that the notification pops up, but those videos are just not for you, ultimately, at the end of the day. And sometimes, like, certain videos are just not for you, and that's okay, and the other videos will be for you. So all I ask is that if you don't like fight scene reactions, you just don't have to check them out. If you feel like you've given them enough chances and they're still boring for you, then just don't watch them. But as long as the fight scene reactions continue to get a significant amount of hits, anything over 20,000 is significant to me. Anything below that, I'm like, I start to weigh whether it's worth it or not. And that, it's not so much about money, if that's what you guys are thinking, because there's it's not as much money as you think it is. Like 20,000, especially 20,000 hits. It's like, that's really not much money at all. But it's a significant amount of just people. Like, think about that. Like, there's 20,000 people. That's a lot of people who want to see that content. And so I'm catering to those people. If they want to see it, I'll continue to put it out to the best of my abilities. So, in addition, I've shot a bunch of fights and reactions with Megan Leigh as well. So if you don't like the fights and reactions, I'm so sorry, because more are coming. So just don't click on them. I've exhausted that point. I like fights and reactions. I like doing the fights and reactions and reviews, so those are going to continue to come. But that being said, there's other content coming, which I'm about to dive into right now. This is 30 minutes long, and I'm so sorry. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. So what's to come on the channel? We've got other things coming. We have shot music videos for those of you who've been asking for it, and I'm gonna start rolling those out either late this week or early next week. I need to talk to my friend at T-Series to see if I can roll out more in the rest of May than, you know, he wanted me to initially, just because I know you guys have been waiting a while. I feel bad for that. And so I do want to roll out more in the initial period and then make it once a month like he asked me to. So that's going to come very soon. What is also coming very soon is a number of web series reactions. I got permission for several different web series, which I was very excited about. Right before we left on this trip, we shot a bunch of reactions to a bunch of different web series, so that's really cool. I'm excited to roll those out. How I roll it out hasn't been figured out yet, but they are going to start rolling out. I hope latest is going to be Monday. So Monday or Tuesday, because I did a poll on Twitter, and I asked people, what day are you least likely to watch a video in the afternoon? They said Monday, out of Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. What else is coming? I have a short film I'm about to show fairly soon. That's not going to be on this channel, though. It's going to be on the American channel, but I will put a trailer for that video when it's available, so you guys know that it's here, for those of you who want to see it. And so I'm very excited to share that, because it's something that's just been in the can for a long time, and finally it's just about done. So I just have to throw in the credits and mix the audio and sound, because my sound guy got back to me and with the final edit. So, oh my god, it's so exciting to finally share that with you guys, because I like it a lot. I think it's a hilarious and fun short film, and it's got cool visual effects and whatnot. So what else is coming on the channel? Oh yeah, of course, the travel vlog. So I talked to Achara, and basically what we're doing is, like, it's gonna be a little bit tough, because I'm gonna have to just bring her on. Like, as an editor, it's like I can only afford so many hours of hers, right? So I have to basically do more of that so that I can afford the time and set aside the time to do travel vlogs. And so I've talked to her about it. She's going to be editing more videos for at least the next week or two, so that I have time to get back to the travel vlogs, because I know that a number of you guys have been waiting for that for a long time, and I feel bad. And it's like I want to focus on it too. It's just, you know, I only have so much time in the day. I'm one dude, and I have Achara as well. And the thing is, the reason why I don't have more editors is because, number one, it gets expensive. Honestly, it just gets really expensive. And I know that, you know, sometimes you see people commenting saying I make like $60,000 a month, or 60, you know, like several $1 million a year. It's like, trust me, those numbers on Social Blade or whatever they are totally false, and I don't know why they show these crazy numbers the way they do. So I can only afford so much of Achara in a week, is what I'm getting at, and I can only afford that one extra editor besides myself right now. So there's that. And so while she's editing that, I'll be editing the travel vlogs. And oh, what I was trying to say was, Achara gets my style. She's the closest anyone's ever come to mimicking my style. I tried out other editors, and it's hard. It's really hard, because I'm very particular about the way the video looks and sounds. And Achara has spent a lot of time with me, working closely with me to understand my style, and she's still like only, honestly, like 60 to 75% there. That sounds significant, but that other 25% matters so much to me. And so, like, there's certain just things, it's hard to explain. I mean, if any one of you guys who's an artist, you probably understand what I'm talking about. So I think that's everything. This is quite a long video. It's almost 35 minutes long. Most of you have stopped watching already, but if you haven't stopped watching, the video that's going to come is called Dragon Ball J. It's a short film. It's a spoof short film I shot several years ago. When I say several, I mean like 2 or 3 years ago. And it's just been in the can for a long time because it's it needed visual effects, and I don't know how to do visual effects. I had to pay someone to do visual effects for me, and it needed music. I had to get someone to do music for me, and it turns out that Ricky Elliott, my friend, was able to find the time to do both. He's a really, really awesome dude, and yeah, so you'll hear more about him hopefully in the near future. I mean, he's a really, really awesome guy, and if you guys get a chance, you should see his stuff as well. He's done a lot of lightsaber fights. So that's it. I have exhausted myself, and I'm glad I made it through this video, stumbling and fumbling and tripping and falling over myself in this conversation with you guys and this silly monologue of mine. Oh, I'm exhausted because I tried recording this like 4 or 5 times, and I just ended up like rage quitting because I'm like, I can't get my words together right. So it's done. It's done, people. It's done. You guys can close this out and tell all your friends about it and tell them how it changed your life. I'm just kidding. All right, you guys. I'm going to awkwardly close this now. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome day. And hopefully I didn't bore you. And I love you guys. I love you all. Guys and gals. Ladies and fellers. Y'all are awesome. I'm Jaby. Peace out.